Good afternoon, students. Today I am going to start my class on another topic which is called as leaf, which is a part of the chapter in first year pre-university as well as 11th standard. It is called the morphology of the flowering plants. So today we are going to start with the definition of leaf. What is the definition of leaf? You all know what is a leaf, right? You will see it in so many varieties, so many forms, correct? But we have to describe it or define it when we have to learn it formally. So leaf is called as a flattened photosynthetic appendage attached to the stem at the nodes of the stem. Okay, so I will just write it down for you here. It is a photosynthetic appendage which is borne on the stem at nodes. Okay, they are the ones. Now these leaves have got many functions to perform. You all know that leaf has green in color and it has to perform the photosynthesis, which forms the foremost functionality. So the main function of a leaf is photosynthesis because of the presence of chlorophyll. Okay, for chlorophyll, where is it? It has the presence of chlorophyll which is giving it that green appearance. Okay, so photosynthetic because of the presence of the chlorophyll, it is green in color. Then if you know or if you have observed any leaf, for example here I have one leaf. If you see, there are two sides, the upper side and the lower side. I'll come to it later, little later, what exactly and how do we call it. So this particular leaf here, if you see, on the underside, that is the abaxial side. Okay, abaxial side, we can see some specialized structures under the microscope. They are called as the stomata. What is it? Stomata, which helps in exchange of gases and thus plays important role in transpiration. Plays an important role in transpiration. Important role in transpiration. Other than this, see, when you observe a leaf, now here I am showing you leaf. If you can see properly, there are certain things which are demarcating the leaf blade or the leaf lamina. These long thread-like structures, we call them as venation. Okay, and these are the ones which are going to have the vascular tissues in them. What are vascular tissues of plants? Xylem and phloem. So xylem takes the whole responsibility of conducting the water, and the phloem conducts the prepared food in the form of starch to all parts of the plant body, and here exclusively they are present in this venation, if you can make out. So it helps in also giving food to different parts of the leaf. That's how it is kept alive, so that it can do photosynthesis. Next thing is, it is going to protect the axillary bud, which is necessary for the formation of branches in higher plants or in case of larger angiospermic plants. When the stem is there, when the main stem is there, there will be certain axillary buds which are responsible for formation of the branches. Now those axillary buds are also protected by the leaf. These leaves are also involved in bringing about vegetative reproduction. Example for this is bryophyllum. So if you take the leaf off of a bryophyllum, if you simply put it in the soil, you can have new plants growing on them. That is, the leaf itself will start producing the roots and the leaves will be produced, and hence the new plant is formed. Other than this, they also store food. Okay, they also store food, and they also are modified into spines to check the amount of water loss during transpiration in xerophytic plants. So having mentioned all the important or the main functions of the leaf, now we are going to know about the structure of the leaf. The structure of the leaf involves three main important parts. They are called as the lamina, or the leaf blade, or the epipodium. Okay. Then the petiole or the stalk of the leaf, and is also called as the mesopodium. The leaf base, from which the petiole arises from the node of the stem, or where it is attached to the stem, that is called as the leaf base or the hypopodium. Today in my class I am showing you a typical leaf. Now this is a typical leaf which I have collected. This is Hibiscus cannabis. Okay, Hibiscus cannabis, if you can make out. Here, please see students, this is the base of the leaf. This is the leaf lamina or the leaf blade or the epipodium. The stalk, okay, the stalk is the petiole or also called as the mesopodium. The base, which is a leaf base, or it is also called as the hypopodium. Understand? Now first we are going to talk about the leaf blade or the lamina or the epipodium. As you can see here, this particular leaf is having certain veins and veinlets. So here in the middle you can see the leaf is having a prominent vein which we call it as the midrib. Okay, the prominent vein called as the midrib, and there are certain other branches which is coming from the midrib and going towards the end of the leaf blade. They are called as the veinlets. So the veinlets and the vein are arranged in a very reticulate manner in the form of a mesh. Okay, in the form of a mesh. So this is the one which is ensuring the presence of the vascular tissue to a complete blade of the leaf. Okay. Now here you should see that there are two surfaces. Okay, students, two surfaces. The upper surface is called, or the ventral surface is called as the adaxial surface. The lower surface or the dorsal surface is called as the abaxial surface. Those leaves which has got the difference in the adaxial and the abaxial regions, we call it as a dorsiventral leaf. And those leaves which do not have any differences in either of these surfaces, they are called as isobilateral leaves. Isobilateral leaves are very common in case of monocots, and dorsiventral leaves are very common in case of dicots. Next we are going to move on. So I will also show you an isobilateral leaf because I have got a grass here. So if you can see, they don't have any underside. They are going to look the same on both the sides, on the dorsal as well as on the ventral. Now since they are looking the same on both the sides, we are going to call it as the isobilateral leaf. So that is about the leaf blade and the epipodium. Now we are going to come for the petiole, also called as the mesopodium. What is a petiole? Petiole is a long stalk which holds the leaf in a position so that it can get maximum exposure to the sunlight. Okay, it is a stalk which holds the leaf base to the stem in order to get the maximum sunlight. This is called as the petiole. Those plants which have got the petiole, they are called as the petiolate, and those who do not have the petiole, they are called sessile. Okay. Now with this, we now move on to the leaf base or the hypopodium. So I will just write it here. Leaf base or the hypopodium. Now there are two types of leaf bases which we are going to notice in the plant kingdom. One which is swollen and looks very big at the base, they are called as the pulvinous leaf base. Another one is sheathing leaf base. Sheathing leaf base. First, we are going to talk about the pulvinous leaf base. Now, in the pulvinous leaf base, as the name in the name, what it suggests is the pulvinous leaf base is swollen, somewhat bigger in size, and it is little weaker. It is weaker, but it is able to be sensitive. It is sensitive to touch. Okay, sensitive to touch. So I will show you how the pulvinous leaf base looks. Okay, see here. This is the sample of Mimosa pudica which I have taken. I'll show you how the pulvinous leaf base looks. Now, if you see. Here there is a swollen region. Can you see? Can you see the swollen region, students? Here, 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 here. But you don't see any swollen thing here. Can you see? No. You can't see. Even this is also there. Now, this is the region where it is responsible for the touch movements of the Mimosa pudica. So this you can experiment on your own. If you find any Mimosa pudica near your house, just cut one part of the stem and see for yourself as to how the pulvinous base looks. If you feel it, you can definitely feel that particular region. The base is actually bigger in size, and as and when the petiole becomes smaller. So that is what is called as the pulvinous leaf base. Example for pulvinous leaf bases are Mimosa pudica, tamarind tree and gold mohair. These are the three examples which is showing the pulvinous leaf base. Next, coming to the sheathing leaf base. Now, the sheathing leaf base is little there are again two types in sheathing leaf base. So the sheathing leaf bases, we will have two types. Okay, I'll tell you what are those. Sheathing leaf bases are of two types. One is amplexicol. Another one is semi-amplexicol. Okay, amplexicol and semi-amplexicol. Example for amplexicol is grass, wheat. Okay, then semi-amplexicol example is buttercup, prickly poppy, and calotropis. example of amplexicol. What is this? See, first of all, let me tell you what are sheathing leaf base. Now, when I remove the leaf towards its base, you can see that there is some other appendage which is also coming along with it. Correct? You can see, even I will try to remove this and show you. See how the leaf is having that appendage. Now, since it is having a very long appendage and most of the leaf is actually covered by that sheath, we call the complete sheathing of the leaf as amplexicol. Okay. Partial sheathing of the leaf is called as semi-amplexicol. Example for the amplexicol is grass and wheat, and semi-amplexicol is buttercup, prickly poppy, calotropis. Calotropis in Kannada is yakkadiyale. So if you yakkadgida, so if you go out and see some that particular plant, pick it up and see whether it is sheathing completely or it is sheathing half, or yeah, it is half, that is semi. Therefore, it is semi-amplexicol. So, this is about the leaf bases. Now, after understanding the structure of the leaf, okay, after understanding the structure of the leaf, we are going to now go further to understand another important part which is present in the leaf along with these three structure. They are called as the stipules. What are these stipules? Stipules. Stipules are usually 2 in number. Okay, 2 in number. They are present at the base of the leaf, Okay. They are the ones which are going to protect the leaf bud during its growth. And there are different types of, there are almost 7 types of stipules and 2 modifications of stipules which is important for the plant. The stipules will look something like this. If you look at the base of the leaf, you will see there are 2 appendages. Okay, can you see? There are 2 appendages. These appendages which are present on the either side of the petiole is called as the stipules. Okay, so those leaves with stipules are called as the stipulates, and those without stipule they are called as exstipulate. So as plants having stipules are called as stipulate, and the plants without stipules they are called as exstipulate. Okay, so these are the things about the stipules in the plant. So now today we are going to first, I just mentioned to you about the 7 types of stipules which we are going to see, but we are going to learn about their the way they look, okay, with the diagram in our next class. So the 7 types of stipules which we are going to notice are as follows. They are, first one, free lateral, scaly, adnate, interpetiolar, intrapetiolar ocreate and the last one is foliaceous. Then the two modifications which I mentioned, one is the spinous and the other one is tendrilar. Okay, so the hibiscus cannabis which I showed to you right now, okay, the hibiscus cannabis which I showed to you right now, this is a very good example for free lateral. There are two appendages present on the either side on the leaf base, and if you can see very conspicuously, you can make them out here. Hope you are able to see it. Yeah. That is stipules, free lateral stipules. Next is the scaly, adnate, intrapetiolar, ocreate, foliaceous, spinous and tendrilar. I'll talk about spinous and tendrilar. These things we are going to learn in our next class with diagram. But spinous is where the stipules like this, these stipules whatever are present in certain plants like smilax, they get modified into spines. So they become very sharp. You know what are spines? They are very woody and they prick actually. Those are called as spines. Okay, they are modified into spines. Then they are so that it is going to protect the plant from grazing animals. Okay, grazing animals. And then tendrilar ones are the ones where the stipules just like this will become into a form of a tendrils. That is, they are going to become like a spring and helps in the attachment to the other region for their climbing. Okay, for climbing they are going to attach themselves. Example is spinous example is Ziziphus, acacia. For tendril is an example as smilax. So I am going to show you with the diagram and with examples in my next class of all the stipules present. Okay, so for today we are going to wind up the class with this particular introductory aspects, which includes the definition of the leaf, main functions of the leaves, main parts of the leaf. After the main parts of the leaf, we learned about the stipules, what is the function of the stipules, and there are different types of stipules and their respective examples. I will be dealing with them in my next class. Hope you have understood and have appreciated the stipules, how they are present. Again, I am showing you here. This is hibiscus cannabis, commonly called as Gongura soppu in Kannada. These are the ones which are the lateral appendages forming the stipules, and also the leaf bases, which is the pulvinous leaf base in case of Mimosa pudica, which is very important for the touch and sensitivity actions. If you can find it in your near your house, do cut a branch of it and twig of it and just feel it. You can see how swollen it is. And we also learned about the leaf base called as the sheathing leaf base, wherein we talked about the leaf base of a grass, wherein there is definitely a sheath which extends. Okay, and this kind of a sheath which is extending beyond the leaf, in which is almost equivalent to that of the size of a leaf, is called as the amplexicol leaf, and which is partially sheathed, it is called as semi-amplexicol. So thank you students, hope you have understood and even appreciated how these stipules look at a typical plant and how a pulvinous leaf base looks in nature in Mimosa pudica. Hope you have understood this and you appreciate it. I hope to see you in the next class for the types of stipules, and I'll try to get the specimens for the same so that it becomes easier for you to visualize them and understand them in the real world. Thank you so much. Do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a good day.